Yeah? The best way to let go is realize you weren't holding on. If you keep letting go, you're emphasizing you're holding on. You're giving it way too much freaking credit. Yeah? You're giving it too much credit. As soon as you, it's like we read yesterday, one movement away produces heaven and earth. Yes, that's what they're talking about, this kind of movement. One moving away from, there's no holding on to, letting go, changes everything. Yeah? Who's going to be judging how you're doing? And you're letting go. The whole premise of holding on. You're doing really good. Like I talk to these people in recovery, the same voice that was telling them it would be a great idea to shoot coke is critiquing their program now. It's the exact same voice. That hasn't been altered one bit by drinking or not drinking. It's still yapping, isn't it? The prior addiction is swimmingly going on even after you got to the last addiction. It ain't the last addiction. The one addiction is being untouched by all you're getting rid of all the other addictions. Yeah? Because now you feel that you're the one who got out of alcoholism. That's the prior addiction. That seems to be always there. It's like the elite. No matter if there's wars or famine, nothing ever touches them. Yeah? The good circumstances. That's what it's like. Yeah? It's in a perfectly safe position. You never look there. You only look from there. It dissuades any investigation because you already know what it is. You. Yeah? It may demand a lot of work and renovation, but you never get to look at the blueprints. You just believe the house is already built and you're the tenant in it. You never realize it never went into building. It never had completion. It's fucking just a blueprint. You're making it all up in a way. It's like you've moved into an imaginary house and now you're stuck with a 20-year mortgage. You're trying to figure, I can't live, you could just walk out of the freaking house. Yeah? But because of huffing and puffing and making it so much, it seems so freaking real that it seems the appropriate response to take it to be so. But that's only being lent by you believing this is real. Can you imagine reality somehow? The meaning of real came here, and now this is giving the meaning to everything of what's real and not. And the first thing it does is makes reality unreal, so that it seems real. It can't stand in the same space of reality. If they both met, which they possibly cannot happen because it's nothing there, yeah, it would immediately realize it's shadowed. Yeah. Its whole point is to make as much things real as possible to keep that seemingly unreal. I have people every week call me up about the earth-shattering event they went through. And I said, well, didn't you have an earth-shattering event last Thursday? The earth hasn't shattered, you know? Or this is the one, you know? But you had the one problem 3 months ago. This is the one. There's been a lot of the one, you know? You would figure if you hit the one and you got relief, there wouldn't be many more others. Yeah. It's so simple, it's easily overlooked. It's so freaking simple. It's easily overlooked. The only place where a true correction can occur where the problem never happened. That's the only place. You cannot correct an imaginary problem. You cannot make something that's unreal. You cannot make something that's unreal that you've made real unreal. Yeah? And you can get all the knowledge you want. Some physicians, some physicists know there is no world, yet they're still arguing with their wife and they're pissed off at the male newspaper boy missing their porch on Sunday. It's not translating into traveling light. What's the fucking point of it? If it's just an isolated notion that sits in your crowning achievement in your head, or is it something that integrates and spreads out, and now you're a vehicle for its expression, which you've always been. I wouldn't want this if I was still fucked up every day. Jesus Christ, if it doesn't translate into value here, there's no value in everything. There's only value about everything where it can be forgotten. Yeah. The recognition of everything in a place it can be forgotten is the value. Yeah. This is where it has a huge effect. It doesn't have an effect in and of itself. It's past all that. Here, it can have a huge effect. It can allow one that seems to be a one travel lighter through a lifetime. And maybe not looking to get all the time, but just realizing it's a vehicle of expression. Yeah. Be able to recognize its seed assignment, not put its own little cushion on it and engrave its name on it, but realize the music will come on, and then you get up and you walk around and may sit. Now, I may maybe get married in my 60s. Who knows what will happen? You have no idea. Yeah. But you have the flexibility to get up and sit down, move, listen, yeah. Dance with the tune, yes. Instead of being frozen, instead of being like a storage unit of there and then, with no windows open, no circulation of living coming through, just dead space in a way, appearing to be dead space, with tons of knowledge, but no applicability. You know, what's the point of it? This is totally about, this is like economical. It pairs you down. You're open enough to know what you need to know when you need to know it. Yeah? The chute's open, so downloads can occur. And the downloads just don't occur because of downloading. They download, there's a purpose, and then that's it. Yeah? If I did a talk on, let's say, the 12 steps yesterday, and I did it today, it would be probably quite different. Because it's always a new download. Yeah? All I have is some basic ideas, and everything else is just different, let's use different pastels on this today. Yeah? Let's accentuate the background and then diminish the foreground, because that's what happens. We have things and us and all mentality on the foreground, and the space has been put in the background. This is about the space comes and becomes the foreground. And then all the yapping and all this goes back into the background. Yeah? And it seems to work a whole lot better. What more do you need? You have the eye to see what works. Work, let it work. It's not even work it. You're not doing anything. It's doing it all. Yeah? That's its function. Its function is to produce a way of making sense to this place from a fucking unsensible view. Yeah? It's trying to interpret to be true to its point of view, but the point of view is insane. Yeah? Its allegiance isn't to the truth, its allegiance is to the point of view of self-centeredness, so it's trying to make sense from a very insane point of view. Yeah? If the point of view is let go, things blue will be blue and red will be red. The appropriateness will come back. A lot of things that you may not even, miss will show back up. Wonder and awe and all tons of stuff that, after a while of being an adult, you think that was only in the childhood stage. What a ripoff. It's totally open and available now. Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Letting go of the self, the idea, the concept of the self, the action of trying to let go is basically telling the universe that you're still holding on.
That's right.
So in other words, how again do I let go without going through the effort of letting go, which is
Well, you hear this message, yeah? And there may be a realization or a possibility you're not that, so therefore there's no need to let go.
Yeah, because that really that was really meaningful what you just said about that, by the action of trying to let go is telling the universe that you're holding on still.
Exactly, so
that's
this is entertaining a possibility that you were never that, which is prior to holding on to letting go. Yeah? holding on and letting go become relevant when there's something that can be held on, or can hold on, or there's something that can be let go, or can let go. We're not dealing with that, we're going prior to that. What are we before there's holding on and letting go? Yeah? You're innate, you are the seeing of what's going on here. You're not the seen in what's going on. Yeah? You're appearing in the scene of what's going on, but you are of the seeing of what's going on. Yeah? Instead of putting all the emphasis, let's say, on the cart, like 90% of the emphasis on the cart and only 10% on the horse, this can put 50, 70, 80% on the horse and 10% on the cart, and it works out a lot better. Because the horse is the engine. The cart's not going to move without the horse. Like in recovery, they say you got to be willing to save your ass or your face, yeah, instead of your face. But the problem with me is I thought my face was my ass. Yeah. The mental image that I thought was me, I was trying to save, and I was losing my ass every freaking day. So all I needed was a little spiritual anatomy class to point out what's your ass and what's your face. And do you really, really want to be saving your face all day, being right and special while your ass is being lost? Or would you rather put like the horse before the cart and see how life goes? Well, thank God something motivated me to go that direction. Yeah? Now it's like I was just talking about foreground and background. The background of all there is that you never sense, you know, the God that's supposedly everywhere you never bump into, now becomes the foreground, and things are alive. Yeah, they're alive now. There's a sense of presence. It's vibratory. It's like energy going on. Yeah, it's a live activity. And then all the yapping and interpretation about it doesn't disappear. It just, the volume diminishes. And it takes a much more appropriate position, which is in the background, yeah? So you're not listening to it, you're hearing it, yeah? And then a lot of times when you're really doing something you love or doing a talk like that, you're not even hearing it anymore, yeah? Like here, you lose the sense of body, you're really, all those preoccupied identifications is dismissed, let's say if you're doing something you love, like surfing or doing a talk a lot of times, yeah? A lot of times if I have ailments, they're totally forgotten in the time I'm doing the talk, yeah? So how real were they? Seriously. There's all different things may have been going on when I walk in here, yet they're totally put to rest while this event's going on. So how real could they have been if they could be silenced so quickly? With no effort to silence them, just by being occupied by some other idea, yeah? You get the hints all the time. If something was real, it would probably take some time to get rid of it. But a lot of times, things that seem so real disappear in a nanosecond. Yeah, it didn't take any time because they never were so. Yeah, you gotta get the hint. The life is telling us all about what's going on all day. You can just read the tea leaves. And maybe all you need is a little hint. And then one principle can be applied to all the events. You'll see it. You'll see the template of what's happening here. And then you'll realize, how can I be that if there's a seeing of it so clearly? Yeah? And then maybe you get broke from the habit of nounness, and then you start associating yourself as a verb. Yeah? You start sensing, I'm the movement, I'm the seeing, I'm the verbing. I'm not this little conceptual flagpole that's stuck in the river of life, trying to claim the river, or at least this little bit of the river, while the river is constantly moving past me. How can I define anywhere the flagpole is as the river? I mean, really, it's insanity, yeah? If you forego the flagpole, you're right in the river. And then you can really see what it's about because you're all about it. You're not in a contradiction to it, you're with it, yeah? Yeah. Going with the flow, or however you want to put it, but it applies the same thing. Now, you can't bring this about, so all you do with like this, I heard this information and I entertained it. I may not be that. I didn't try not to be that, but just questioned it, yeah? Because that would be that again, yeah? I tried not to be. Questioned it, I made my mistakes, you know, in the beginning, because my mind rushed in to take advantage of what I heard. They're pretty incredible ideas. I mean, they're jam-packed with a lot of oomph, so of Costa Selfing was thinking, I'm gonna use this for my own advantage. It got bored after a year or two because it wasn't working, you know? It wasn't panning out well. But somehow or another, I stuck with it. There was a maturity there, and then I entertained it, and it became just clear. Yeah.